little orphan Fanny, Charles. She really
Well done by the art department.
She really showed everybody her ass the other day, and it's not pretty.
Well, and how does she have $8 million? As they say, her net worth is $8 million. How is that possible?
Well, she said that she said some incredibly stupid stuff. She said, first of all, Fanny rolled into the courtroom there like she was ODB's trap queen, stacking paper up at the condo. You gotta have 10,000 around, Charles. You know, keep that pimp hand strong when you gotta pay off your bitches. And then her father comes in to reiterate that. Right. You wouldn't understand, Charles. This is a black thing.
I know. That's not racist.
But he said, I'm not trying to be racist, but you a cracker.
But then he's what is this guy doing? This is the pigeon whisperer here.
Just go ask that guy if he's got $4,000 on him.
He's a pigeon whisperer. You'll see in a second. He's calling his pigeons back.
Really?
Yeah. They're generally right there.
They respond to this guy?
Well, we'll see. Yes, watch it. Why? Well, let's stay here and you'll see. There's a weirdo right behind me.
Well, luckily today, Charles, it is quite cold, but we have the opportunity to present our viewers with a unique hybrid format where we're going to walk around a little bit in the cold here today, and then just right after this, people are going to be able to join us for an in-depth, in-studio look into some pretty exciting things. Yes, about Fanny, but also about some other stuff.
Well, the decline and fall of the Joman Empire. I mean, here's this idiot we see in the summer. I mean, it's like 30 degrees, and he's out here trying to catch some rays. I mean, you know, you're not going to get much more orange in this weather. Right? I mean, that's like, talk about,
Well, he had something in his mouth.
I know, you want to protect yourself from getting lip cancer.
What was that about?
I don't know.
I mean, what is he, is that guy like, I don't know, who's he trying to impress with a suntan?
I don't know. I mean, he's not, as I say, he's not going to get any more orange in this sun. I mean, it's really, this is not Indonesia. This is freaking cold.
It is. So I'm sorry to bring you out here,
That's
Charles,
okay.
but it is also sunny and crisp, and I think the cold weather keeps the maniacs away a little bit. But, you know, once we get to the studio, Charles, I have a document that we have been waiting for 7 years.
What's that? Let's get away from this.
It is a demonstrative pedagogical summary to be...
Is that in Pig Latin?
What is it to be?
I don't know.
Something is to happen with it, to be released before November 8th and dated September 7th.
Right. We'll go through that in some depth. It'll be interesting to pick it apart line by line. I only watched was able to read a little bit of it before coming out here.
It's going to tie into this Mike Benz interview with Tucker Carlson, because he really, if people haven't seen that yet, I definitely recommend it. Mike Benz goes into tremendous detail about this disinformation industrial complex that's been built up in the basically 7 years since we've been doing this.
Well, it's worse than Stasi or Soviet level propaganda. It's just total bullshit. Everything that comes out of Latrine's mouth is just bullshit. And the same with Joe. I mean, I've been fed a lot of clips of Joe in recent moments. I mean, it is, you don't need to be a neurobiologist or medical doctor to look at this guy and say his screws are gone, or they're not connected to his brain.
And they say the fish stinks from the head. When you hear Fanny Willis up there, obviously lying. Everything got repaid in cash, no receipts. Well, I got credit card statements, but no receipts. You got to speak clearly. This is just everybody sees Joe as lying and stealing. They figure it's time for them to do the same.
Right, and these recent rulings against Trump, both E. Jean Carroll, who is absolutely not credible, and this lawsuit, and our stupid-ass governor getting up there and trying to reassure business leaders, nothing has changed.
No.
You just are a complete idiot.
She just slit the throat.
I mean, this having been done and nobody having been harmed, this is a gross miscarriage of justice. The Supreme Court, there's no remedy like this, but the Supreme Court, this is a case where it ought to intervene and just strike the shit down.
It's a state court, though.
Well, I know, but there ought to be. This is an absolute miscarriage of justice.
Yeah.
And in the end, Trump is going to be damaged here financially, and he should sue and he should win. an enormous penalty against the state of New York.
Yeah, but he's butting up against, I mean, look at me. I've been doing this for 7 years and the resolution is nowhere in sight. If I was 77, I'm not so sure I'd be enthusiastic about spending the next possibly last 7 years of my life doing this.
Right, as important as the issues are that you're confronting, though, that they're
not the same.
Half $500 million.
I'm just saying, from Trump's standpoint, he's running out of time.
Right, but I mean, in terms of New York City is running out of
yes,
time. Like
we all are.
Today, we're not going to go up to that Hotel Pennsylvania or Pennsylvania hotel site, which they were going to build a big office tower opposite Madison Square Garden, and now they're going to turn it into tennis courts.
That's insane.
A lot of the year in New York, it's either raining or like this. You're not going to play tennis outdoors in this weather.
But also, it's the middle of Midtown Manhattan. That seems like a big waste of money.
I know, but it's just, it gives you a sense. The blue-controlled states and cities are disaster zones compared to, I mean, I was looking, do you want to go this way or that way?
We got to keep it a little short today, so we don't want to go too far away from.
I thought you wanted to see hunters.
Yeah, let's go check it out.
Yeah. But the blue-controlled states, I was recently looking, you remember that back in 1997, I organized a fund to invest about 100 million US into Ireland, principally into Ireland. And at that time, you could make a strong case for the future of Ireland. Educated workforce. One second. It's very important to recap the brunch, in the evening last night. And
is that a sheep?
Those people are talking at the top of their lungs about, I don't know. Yesterday, I went out and I had the crepe Suzette. Anyway. But in Ireland in 96 and 97, it was possible to make the case. Indeed, it was a case, frankly, that Ira Magaziner made in the 80s, I believe, that Ireland was an interesting platform to take companies that could serve a wider market in Europe, invest in them, and help them grow. But back then when I was doing it, a hotel room at the nice hotel called the Shelburne on the Stevens Green, where our office was $180 a night back in 97, which is not.
That's a lot.
Well, but now I just checked that same hotel is $500.
Yeah.
And of the cost that includes taxes, over $100 is VAT. And then so the cost of this ridiculous bureaucracy and letting in these immigrants into Ireland
and losing that tax.
It's just it has destroyed the argument. Then I started looking at real estate. And it's more expensive in Dublin than it is here in New York.
Really?
Yeah, it's very expensive because a lot of
the euro?
No, because a lot of the Googles and the Facebooks and the Microsofts.
Oh yeah, they had a lot of technology there.
Well, actually, the Irish government cut a deal. I think it was with Apple.
Yeah.
To claim that Apple was a sovereign nation and that it shouldn't suffer any taxes in exchange for bringing all the workers into the country.
Yeah, you used to have to get support for the X-raid from Ireland.
Right. So I think, you look at this misery inflicted by capitalism. It's not socialism, it's not capitalism, it's capitalism, where we have boneheads like Fanny Willis and boneheads like Tish James and boneheads like Joe Biden who can simultaneously enrich themselves while creating massive uncertainty for people who want to invest and bring jobs into a shithole like this. I mean, you take AOC. I mean, I'm not a violent person, but if I could and get away with it.
Let's not say anything. I just got this YouTube channel recovered.
All right, but
you don't like her.
Yeah, well, she's just so fucking stupid.
Yeah.
And
she is.
She bragged about getting Amazon to
kicked
not
out,
have jobs here in New York. What kind of a dope are you? I mean, how do you think
well, but now they got around it by just hiring everybody to work in the street and sort everything in the street.
Work and smoke dope.
Yeah, instead of paying for a warehouse.
But you really need a show. I mean, I think you'd be the perfect foil for this because I'm so calm and whatever. Where we would have various clips. You let the person talk like AOC, and then you do the screeching sound, and then you rebut.
Hold up.
Yeah, hold up.
I want to do that with Fanny Willis, Charles.
Well, let's definitely do that. I mean, and see what people don't get. If you're sitting there and you're making, as I did in Ireland, on behalf of investors and myself and others, in my firm, if you're making a long-term capital commitment, wait here. All these people discuss their latest brunch. Yeah, that's fascinating.
Capital commitments in Ireland.
Yeah, so if you're making capital commitments anywhere, typically they're for 5, 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
And you've got to think about, you may be on an upward trajectory, but is there a recent history of criminal insanity in government?
Yeah.
And I think, there really is. Not only is Biden mentally spent, but he's also corrupt. And all these stories that Miranda Devine had been working on back in 2020. I mean, as you and I surmised, and now as has been proven, Joe Biden's been doing this since the fucking 70s.
Yeah, they came out in the Her report that he had documents from the 70s. Obviously nothing about the future of garbage.
The president of garbage. Yeah, let's spit on the garbage.
But it was also great that Robert Her came back and said, I didn't bring up Beau Biden, Joe did.
Well, he wouldn't remember.
But it's just, that's the point. I mean, I don't understand how anybody can... We get it that Joe Biden is out of his mind, but you've got Lawrence Tribe, you've got Norm Eisen, you've got...
They're all been, it's a chorus of morons.
Right.
But
it's not morons, though, Charles. Let's just be a little bit more clear.
Yeah.
Yes, they are morons, but they're doing something deliberate.
Well, yeah, they're revolutionary morons. If you read, there's a great book by, I think, Paul Kengor called Dupes. And if you read it, it goes into the history of various revolutions. And the hotheads are the first people who get killed, when the revolutionaries try to govern. It's easy to criticize.
Right.
But, when you want to govern, it's a different story.
Well, look at this dog wearing the shoes.
This must be popular.
What is this? Carbones or
Chicken
something else?
bagels? Pop-up bagels.
Pop-up bagels.
Not famous, but known. You're waiting in line for this?
You got a Masonic floor. It must be
Waiting
good
in line
bagels.
for this? Why would you do that?
Wow, that's a hell of a
What is
line.
it? Are they marijuana infused
It's
bagels?
$100 cash stuffed into the bagel.
This is ridiculous.
Why would you expect there's so many people waiting for bagels?
Because they're hot and fresh and delicious, and it's Sunday. What else are we doing with our lives?
All right, cool.
Good
man.
point.
Cool. Yeah, I'm woke. I'm stupid.
Oh, more garbage.
Garbage. Just get
Charles.
your bagel. And here's Leon's bagels. They're competing with the pop-up. Some people like
Oh,
Leon.
Leon must be pissed off.
Yeah.
Now, Charles,
Apparently not. He's pretty calm.
just in the Kaizen category today, we have something new happening.
What's that? Two
Well-
phones.
No, there's always two, but it used to be this whole mess of wires sticking out the bottom that would bounce and knock into my body all the time, and I've got a new attachment that seems to be helping and solving the problem.
Oh, well, here
So
we
you're
are.
talking about Ireland. Are we done with that?
Well, no. I didn't finish the concept that when you think about making a long-term investment and you look at New York City, I have a good memory of New York back to the 60s, mid-60s, and New York was glorious in the mid-60s, and then it went straight to hell for a long time frame.
We're in it now.
But this is far.
Oh, look at this.
What?
The Fat David.
That's after eating here at Arturo's Coal Oven Pizza.
That's what he would look like now.
I'm sure that pizza's probably pretty good, although coal is not the
I
best
don't
for you.
like coal pizza
Really?
because, well, it gets mercury in there.
Well, that makes the anchovies taste better.
Maybe.
Teasing here. Now, this is a clear sign that Bidenomics is working. You've got For Lease is expanding everywhere.
Right. Most popular place in New York.
And here's somebody who didn't get the dismantle the hut-ish
Yeah.
notice. There's For Lease, fully vented bar. It says open. Where's the fully vented bar?
Down there.
I guess. So I wanted, now that I'm working on my apartment, I've got designers and people helping me. I want to stop in here and get me some Hunter Biden art.
Yeah.
I mean, that's state of the art. And here we see, one of the classic moves that people do when they're scamming is they put a high price on the art and then they let insiders buy it at an inside price. And that's what turned out to happen with this lawyer who backed.
Oh, and then they can say these are selling for $500,000.
But he's not really paying $500. I hate that. That's
Right.
fraud.
Of course it is.
That's real fraud. Not the kind of bullshit that Tish James tagged and this judge tagged the Trump family with.
She did exactly what George's brother attempted to do. The court had to tell him, hey, this is a consumer advocacy statute that you don't have any stake. It was like a false advertising thing. He was trying to say that I'm making things up, not actually crowdsourcing. And he tried to use a false advertising thing, and the court told him, look, this is for like the attorney general to help consumers. You have no standing to bring this. And it's the same thing really with Letitia James. She has no standing. She didn't lend money to Trump. Nobody came to her and said, hey, Attorney General, do something about this crime. Do you know that I've contacted the Attorney General's office with evidence of crimes and they've done nothing?
Well, as have I. I mean, the Clinton Foundation is a classic case. And here's George.
Oh, he's got the sign rolled up.
Huh?
Maybe just the wind, but it looks like the flag is rolled up.
Somebody's in there. You know, this is the kind of art you'd see in a Moxie hotel lobby. And I like Moxie hotels.
He's walking out of the view of the camera and calling somebody. We should ask him if he wants to testify.
He's another. Is Martin Lawrence a famous comedian?
Yeah, but that's not the same.
That's not his gallery?
I don't think so. But let's talk about Fanny for a second, because it was just so incredibly crazy. I don't know if you've spent much time in court, Charles, but it strikes me that if you say anything other than the answer to what they're asking you, you get yelled at right away. And Fanny is there telling you about like dating advice. Have a few $1,000s when you go out. That's ugly girl dating advice, by the way.
Just turn our attention here to this art. I mean, again, this is the kind of thing that if a ninth grader did this in our class, I'd say, well, okay, that's nice.
Isn't that
it's like graffiti and
but
Andy
isn't
Warhol and a spray painting a frame. I mean, this
isn't this who's the street
Banksy?
artist? Yeah, isn't it?
I don't know.
Or it's in that style.
It's not signed, I don't think. I don't see it being signed.
Maybe it's just copying Banksy.
Banksy, you know where he's from?
I thought England. Nobody knows who he is.
Supposedly from
Doesn't nobody know who he is?
Look at that polka dot art there. Again, I mean, right next to, see it over here? You can't, like, look at that.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, you know.
That's like a vision test. You can see a letter inside the dots.
It's like,
you're not colorblind.
I mean, it's just really not terribly impressive. But I mean, somehow the gallery owner said, yeah, let's take a shot at this. And typically the galleries take 50% of the proceeds, by the way. Used to take 50% of the proceeds.
Charles, Fanny said she took money from her. No, we got to get back this way because we got to be done in about 15 minutes.
Yeah, all right, whatever. Whichever way you want to go. We got to make it right.
Fanny was saying that she had this huge pile of hoard.
It's ridiculous.
Of cash from her campaign. But I mean, isn't she sitting there telling you that she stole money? How can you just take cash from your campaign and start handing it out to people in Belize?
I got to get paid.
Right. I mean, it was crazy what she was saying.
Yeah, the whole. This is what happens when you have one party rule. Absolute power corrupts absolutely, and whether it's
rolling a joint.
Whether it's conservative or progressive in quotes or whatever, this is one party rule in Atlanta, one party rule in DC, one party rule in New York, one party rule in Massachusetts. It's fucking stupid.
But it's beyond one party. It's one party, but Fanny Willis is just unquestionably an idiot.
She's a corrupt.
Corrupt. She used to be a judge. And by the way, you know, you see the way she was running that courtroom. She thinks she was the judge. She's holding up the papers, yelling around, insulting people. That's exactly the way Valerie Caproni acts in court, except she's the judge, and the bullshit she's making up has to do with the evidence.
The quotes, yeah.
And getting me in trouble.
Well, there used to be a show called Drunk History.
Yeah.
And it should be Drunk Judiciary. I mean, drunk on power, drunk on stupid.
Yeah.
And honestly, that judge was too deferential.
I agree.
I would have clocked that woman.
I couldn't believe it. No, any other judge. So when we were in the Robert David Steele case, at the end of everything, the judge finally opens it up and says, Mr. Steele, do you have anything that you would like to say on your behalf? And he's like, Judge, I just want to thank my attorney. She stopped him immediately. She's like, this is not the Academy Awards, asshole. Do you have anything relevant to the case to say?
I know.
You can't sit there and pontificate and say a bunch of bullshit.
You can.
I've never seen a judge allow that much crap.
Well, it's black privilege. I mean, how does Eric Holder get away with Peter Navarro's going to jail for contempt, for defying a subpoena, and in essence for contempt of Congress?
This person's trying to run us over.
He's an idiot from New Jersey.
Drinking coffee. Yeah, he is from New Jersey, encroaching on our walk across the friggin' turnstile while he's
a gangster.
Crosswalk.
But anyway, so Peter Navarro is bound for prison in his mid-70s.
He's in there.
He's in prison already, okay? And Eric Holder, when he was cited for contempt of Congress, says, I wear this as a badge of honor. Anytime Donald Trump, as president, wanted to carry out his duties as he is, in fact, the chief legal officer of the land above the Attorney General, anytime he wanted to do what he was supposed to do, the chorus of morons across punditry that Benz talks about. And
Corons.
The Corons, exactly. Chirons and Corons. What is this? Pineapple. Yeah, that's it's a pineapple. Aaron
Pine
Burr.
cone. What?
This is Aaron Burr's. The land was owned by Aaron Burr at one point.
So that's interesting that that's there.
No, I know from the property I had in upstate New York. This is a design feature, this.
No, I know, but it also appears in strange things. So what is this? This is Aaron Burr's house?
He owned this land.
This handsome house is situated on land once owned by Aaron Burr, built in 1833 to 1834 by John P. Haff.
It's nice. It's not very nice.
He was a prosperous leather inspector. I guess you could really make money doing that back in the day.
Yeah, well, all of this land, much more than this land, was once owned by, it turns out, an ancestor of mine. All of Greenwich Village, all of the Bowery.
That's what Nathan Wade should have told him. I'm a leather inspector. That's what I was doing with Fanny. I'm inspecting.
Yeah,
and then they had his.
Gotta go there.
But then they had his law partner
I
on
didn't
there.
have. Well, who refused to show up, right?
No, he was there, and
there was one guy who refused to show up. He at the last minute, he was supposed to testify.
Wow.
He claimed, please, just walk right through the shot. That's fine. Yeah, I'm well aware of that.
What did he say?
It's a sidewalk.
Yeah, but he's also a rude fuck.
Yeah. Anyway,
the guy didn't show up?
Yeah, the guy claimed he had a last-minute medical appointment, but he was under subpoena. He was supposed to show up, and he just said, fuck you.
Unless it's a medical emergency, they don't care.
It wasn't. And,
I got an eye doctor appointment.
Right. So they're making a mockery of the law. The whole purpose of this exercise, Obama and others, is to make nation states irrelevant and make national laws irrelevant and concentrate power in the hands of unelected bureaucrats like this fucking cockroach-eating, insect-eating, toilet water-drinking guy, Klaus Schwab. Who's setting the standards and indoctrinating these young leaders like that idiot Trudeau and
New Zealand.
And the idiot in New Zealand and the idiot in France. Did you just meet with Mitterrand? Because I did.
Yeah. Napoleon.
Well, it's really nice to be here in Boston with you, Stephen. That's the level of it. And all these people are saying, well, he's sharp.
Yeah.
Coordinated thing.
No, but they're all repeating the same thing. Like there's been a script. Right. Well, and that's what I was going to say about Nathan Wade's former law partner is that they were asking him all these questions about why he left, and it was about some sort of allegation of sexual assault.
Right.
And so, getting to the he didn't do it, but he was accused of it. It's just so crazy the way these people answer questions.
Well, if you were trying to, in America, we do have some great minds. We actually do. They're not in government.
They've retired.
Right. We do have some very smart people and very competent people. They typically are either sole practitioner types or they have a private company that they and their family have built over long periods of time. But this is incompetence on full display.
Yeah.
Right. That the White House would allow this idiot to come up to Washington, D.C. with or without Fanny Willis. And
I was looking at the dog sandals.
Okay. There's some pickleball.
So wait, he's with or without Fanny Willis?
That you would coordinate an assault against a former president and the leading candidate to beat Joe Biden or anybody else in this election using these boneheads.
Morons.
Complete corrupt boneheads. Is that the best you've got?
Probably all they could find.
Go into fucking Washington Square Park and get Methuselah out of retirement. Put him on the team. It's just...
It's like to introduce you to Attorney General Methuselah.
Right. It's just... And then, Ian Sams, this moron, getting up there and trying to defend Joe Biden. He's sharp. He can ride a bicycle.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? There's a clip of him falling on his face on a bicycle from like 2 years ago. he's gotten worse since then.
Yeah, he has.
I mean, and the notion because an 81-year-old man can ride a bicycle, and then to go back a little bit to the video, I watched that video again.
Which video?
Of Joe Biden in the black family's house, the father and the two sons, ordering fried chicken for the black people and eating a hamburger.
Making a point of saying, I got a hamburger.
And then turn your father will take a bullet for you? Because, I've made this country so unsafe that a parent should really have to think about whether he or she wants to take a bullet for their children.
He says the stupidest things all the time.
Really. I mean, you want to let him start to talk, and I guess he's got the State of the Onion speech coming up March 4th, State of the Union.
Does he?
I think, yeah. And you just really want to do the screech-a-thon. Let him talk, screech, and then rebut what he's saying. Everything the man says on major issues is false. Yeah, he's created the strongest recovery. Bullshit. The job numbers that have come out show, first of all, they're not adjusted properly for part versus full-time and multiple job holders, but they seem to show that the bulk of all jobs that have been, quote, created, they're not really created, they're restored, are going to foreign people, including illegal immigrants.
Unbelievable.
And look at this place, graffiti-ridden.
Did you know that this was Little Red Square?
Oh, Little Red Schoolhouse, yeah.
Oh, but it doesn't have to do with actual Red Square, and then...
No, it's right here, Little Red Schoolhouse.
So I guess this is a sticker. It also doesn't have anything to do with weed.
It's good that you put it in English and
But
Spanish.
They should put a mini Kremlin over there if it's going to be Little Red Square.
No, this actually. There you have graffiti up there on those buildings. How did those people get? You got a Popeyes over there. We could stop off and get you some Popeyes.
I don't like it.
I hear you love it. Just being shot.
There's a building being constructed that had to stop down at the South Street Seaport that was supposed to be the tallest condo tower down there.
Is that right?
And it had some kind of problem because they tried to save money by, instead of doing something with concrete, they chemically treated the ground underneath the thing before they started construction. And surprise, surprise, it didn't work the way whatever genius came up with that planned. And the building is leaning 1 inch to the right or something, so the city made them stop building it. And everybody who was getting condos in there was like, hey, we don't want...
Force majeure, we don't...
Yeah, condos in this collapsing building. So now it's been stopped since 2018, and they're talking about dismantling it, and there's this big giant wreck down there. Yes. So the whole city is being run like crap. Oh, Eric Adams' future of garbage. I finally found out what it is, Charles.
What?
It's a new type of plastic.
How much does that cost?
Well, it looks like it could be an okay idea. Except I haven't seen a single one of these new garbage trucks or garbage bins. And I went down to City Hall. I looked on 23rd Street. We've been walking around. I don't see a single one. There's another Popeyes there.
That is the Popeyes I was talking about.
But isn't there one? They're opening a lot of Popeyes now.
That's bad.
And there's a weed store there.
Yeah, I mean, this block here has really gone downhill. It's, the stores in the middle boarded up. That theater used to be a fun theater, but now it used to be in the 60s.
Maybe,
and 70s.
right. Now it smelled like vomit for the past 30 years.
Well, that's an upgrade. I mean, the people who would comment for Biden about the state of the economy would say, that's a good thing, Jason. I mean, the fact that it smells of vomit means that people have enough money to eat.
Right.
And so they're just throwing up, and it's good for their health. They're on a binge diet. They throw up the food, and it's all good.
So people were upset that John Kirby is now augmenting Karine Jean-Pierre.
Well, he got promoted to douche, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's his new title.
From admiral
Chief
to douche.
I mean, he has no integrity, John Kirby. A real.
That's a mini turd.
Yeah. Mini.
Thank you.
Yeah, a real person of integrity would say, "Here's your pizza right there."
Oh, perfect.
No chance that'll attract any kind of germs. But a real person of integrity would just say, I refuse to lie on behalf of this Biden administration. I refuse, because what happens, I think the Benz thing doesn't get into this enough, but what happens is when something goes out on the letterhead of the office of the president or whatever, it has a certain amount of instant credibility.
Right.
People look at it and say, that phrase, a lie will travel halfway around the world before the truth has a chance to catch up. This person is just keep going.
But did they repaint this?
Oh, yeah, they repainted that.
And the scoreboard looks new.
Yeah. But, the hoop is lower than 10 feet.
Because this is the slam dunk court.
It's great. I used to play here as a kid. I loved it. I had one moment of glory there as a kid. The only white kid playing with 9 black guys. And I was really, for some reason, hot that day. And I said, you know what? I'll tell this story for the rest of my life, and thankfully I wasn't punched in the face.
Yeah.
So, and here's a august member of the Greenwich Village Partnership, working hard. I suppose that's a good thing.
Charles, somebody had actually a pretty important suggestion in the comments.
What's that?
That Fanny Willis, first of all, she went on so many vacations. I don't understand. This is supposedly the biggest case of her life.
Right.
And she's going on like 3 vacations in 1 year.
Right.
Seems like a lot. But somebody said, hey, Napa Valley, what do you think she was doing there if not meeting with Nancy Pelosi?
Oh, sure.
And I said, that's a pretty good point.
Sure, this has all been coordinated. This is an illegal coordinated assault. It's election interference. I love the story overnight that early this morning when I woke up, the story went up in the afternoon yesterday, and this morning it had 270 views on 1,000 views on Zero Hedge. Just now it had 325,000. This is the story of truckers saying, all right.
Oh, yeah. I don't like that story so much because how are we going to get food?
I love this story.
But what about...
Because it shows 95% of the truckers supposedly are pro-Trump.
Well, so for people who don't know, there was a trucker on TikTok who said we're just not going to accept hauls to New York and turn away and just go somewhere else because they're pissed off at New York.
Well, not only that, because it's a real process to get into New York. You have to pay tolls and
now they're going to have this
it's a hassle.
Congestion tax.
Yeah, it's a real hassle to come here. So you just say, fuck you, I'm not going to do it. Get one of your self-driving trucks to come here.
They don't have that
goes.
yet.
Well, I know. See how that goes. But it really is. I mean, when you have one-party rule, as we do in New York City and state, and you get a complete moron at Tish James who won her election on making an illegal promise.
Right.
As an elected official, I'm going to target one family, which is illegal. You can't do
with
that.
a law that doesn't even apply to what they're doing. And then
it's
take money. Who are they giving this money to, by the way?
That's
It's
Elon
straight
Musk
theft.
question, yeah. It's probably it's not going to go very far away from Tish James, is my guess.
That's what I'm saying. It just doesn't seem fair in the least. Well, Charles, we're almost out of runway here, and the thing that people are going to find amazing is that just minutes from now, we're going to be in the apartment doing this is going to be another historic show, because this document, the demonstrative pedagogical summary, to be released, before November 8th, 2016, Tashkent supermarket.
This used to be like a Dwayne Reed or something.
Isn't Tashkent in Turkey or something?
Tashkent, I think, is in one of the stands. I forget which stand.
Tajikistan
They
or
must
something?
be trying to clean this place out.
The finest sushi from Tajikistan.
The crap of somebody there.
Well, but anyway, what was I just talking about?
Sorry, I took you off.
It's okay.
Topic there. This is probably all going to get knocked down.
But it was...
All these stores. Hey, look, the 99-cent pizza thing is gone. All these stores are gone.
Wait, what the hell were we just talking about? Well, anyway.
You were talking about...
We're out of time. Oh yeah, the demonstrative pedagogical summary. People, this is so important because this is the document that Ben Wittes emailed to James Comey on the same exact day that Adam Sharp issues a press release saying that he's leaving Twitter.
Right.
And I allege this was where Get Trump kicked into criminal high gear, where they tried to get Corsi, they tried to get Roger Stone, and they tried to get you. And we're going to go over this document. Most people have never seen this. This says that it's attached to Matt Tate's testimony before the Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence, but it's not. And even when you call the House committee, they're like, huh? What the hell are you talking about? So I'm not going to discuss where I got this from right now.
Lawfully, you got it.
I got it lawfully from somebody who definitely would have it, and he sent it to me, and we communicated, and we're going to talk about all of this. This is maybe the biggest breakthrough in the Peter Smith investigation in 7 years.
Well, now the president of garbage is across the street there. Maybe we'll walk over to
Sure,
that
let's
pile.
look at that. The president.
Somebody is living. I've seen the person come. He's living in that pile
That's the
of garbage.
superintendent of garbage.
Yeah, the generalissimo of garbage.
We're going to run for the homeowners association. But anyway, people are going to be able to see that in-depth analysis, which that could go on for quite a while. But join us on odyssey.com/@crowdsourcethetruth. Now, by the way, you can subscribe to Odyssey for free, which I highly recommend given what happened yesterday. You can watch all the free videos on Odyssey, and if you want to, it's the most economical way to sponsor the show. So you can access free videos and sponsor exclusive videos on Odyssey, and Odyssey has become the largest repository of Crowdsource the Truth legacy videos on the internet, so check that out. Don't forget about crowdsourcethetruth.substack.com and subscribestar.com and patreon.com/crowdsourcethetruth. That's art, Charles.
That's art, but that's garbage over there. That's somebody.
It's hard to tell the
living.
difference.
That's shiny. But there's somebody, I don't know if the person's asleep.
Whoa, that's built up.
I know.
That's a
why I
garbage
wanna-
condo.
And frankly, it's
Fanny's
offensive.
in there stacking paper.
It's offensive to me as a longtime resident of this area. Why does the city of New York allow this bullshit?
Yeah.
You know, this is public property. That idiot who walked in the middle of our shot gave us a hard time because this is a sidewalk, and he's allowed. Yeah, it's a sidewalk, but you have some courtesy. How is this permitted?
It's dangerous.
Right, and you can see there's wheels and a luggage bin in there. It's open there. There's probably, I don't want to engage the person, but
No.
but it's just ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous and shameful that nothing is done about that. If the person is mentally ill, you know, help that person. But that structure has been there for 6 months or more.
Unbelievable.
You know, there even was a sign up next to the structure recently that said. The city of New York is going to clear this out, because that structure was tied up to the link machine there,
Wow.
and so the person moved it to have it tied to.
Oh man, so they read the law or something and moved it somewhere where it can't be taken up? All right, well anyway, Charles, we're gonna end the line right here and we'll be back. Join us in 5 minutes. We'll be right back with the sponsor exclusive First Amendment Forum and an in-depth look into this incredible document. We're going to talk about the Mike Benz interview. We're going to talk more about Fanny, and she's the trap queen in the courthouse over there.
Unbelievable.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody, and sponsor the show. We'll be right back.